back in the day, I really wanted to do brand management and I wanted to do artistic direction. And um, so my friend, he had a client he was working with. I don't know if it was his client or if he was working for them, like, W-2 or whatever. But he knew of this person and he introduced me to her. And she was a writer and she was a very cool writer and a very cool illustrator. And um, she had a book that she had illustrated and she wanted to do something cool with it. And I was like, how about we animate your book for you? She was into it. She all for it. Really wanted to see what it looked like. Wanted to get into it. And so she had these really complex and really intricate pieces. And so I said to myself, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to um, I'm going to take all these pieces. I'm going to break them down, and I'm going to dissect them so that they can be animated. Um, on all these different axes, whatever. But like for example, she drew a lot of dragons, so there's like all these dragon scales, and I wanted to be able to animate them so that the scales would overlap and they do all these cool things. So I spent hours and hours and hours, tracing this artwork. I think I didn't know how to do it quicker, or there wasn't the sort of technology to do it quicker. But in my mind, tracing them in Photoshop was my best bet. Traced them all with the pen tool, every scale. I must have traced thousands of scales. Um, features. If it was a hand, I would have got the fingernails, traced out all of these in various layers. And I did this for a huge portion of her book. And when we went to present it to her, um, I don't remember exactly what happened. Either she changed directions on what she wanted to do in general, or she felt like she didn't have the support to really be able to fund her ideas or whatever. But long story short, um, you know, nothing came of the book. I mean, I'd done all that work. My friend and I, we were really trying our best to support this lady and to kind of make her dream come to life, but it just did not work out. We didn't even get a chance to implement the things that we wanted to offer. And so, um, at the time, I was just bummed. I'm like, man, I spent all this time, all this effort doing these things, and I felt like a failure after that. I felt um, you know, like a failure, and not simply because of that moment, but because of all the other moments that felt like that. And I'll tell you about those on another day. But this particular time, I was just like, man, that really sucks, and essentially just had to move on. It was just like a cold turkey. Hey, we're not doing this. Time to move on. And I was really striving to be an entrepreneur, so um, I didn't have anything on the back burner, um, and so I was just kind of left out there. Um, but you know, at the time I thought it was a waste, but when I look back on that moment now, I think about how that actually crafted my style of how I deal with graphics and imagery. Now, there's a lot more technology out now to where it'd be a lot easier to accomplish that, but there's something about the art of drawing a picture and then tracing it and then putting all of the elements into singular layers so that they can be manipulated. Um, and that was a skill I learned at that very moment. I'd never done that before. I worked with some animation things, but that was the first time that I tried my hand at something that was as large scale as that. And it really informed how I like to create now. Um, and it's just beautiful because after that, I went on to have a few more animation clients that had a lot simpler things that they wanted to accomplish, and I was able to help them out with. And it's just little moments like that. It wasn't even a long or crazy story, but it's moments like that that remind me of that just remind me to be patient and to count it all joy, even when I face those type of trials. I mean, the Bible tells us. I mean, Jesus Himself tells us to count it all joy when we face trials of many kinds, right? Because those trials grow in us perseverance, and that perseverance grows character in us. And it's really beneficial to us and to the world around us when we are people of character, whether we just be everyday citizens or famous folks, whatever the case may be. Character is a valuable thing, and a lot of times it's us facing those trials that that just cause us to really grow in character, whether we want to or not. But it's a beautiful thing. So that moment grew me in character. It grew me in perseverance. It grew me in my artistry, um, and it carries over to this day. And I was reminded of that because as I'm working on what I'm working on now, a bunch of tech stuff, a bunch of things that kind of elude me, and I need a lot of help with. And I'm just struggling to get through it. I'm like, I'm following directions, and things aren't working out. Things aren't adding up. But I'm gonna count it all joy, and I'm counting all joy now um, because I'm learning. I'm learning how to do something new. I'm learning how to do something that can benefit the people I work for and work with, and it's just a beautiful thing. Maybe not right now. Maybe it's an ugly thing right now to spend the whole day doing something I can't use, but it's a beautiful thing in the long run. And I'm grateful for it because I know I'm gonna be excellent at this one day, and it's gonna benefit a lot of people. So. Um, I'm thankful to God for the opportunity to be reminded of these things and to share them with you. So hopefully this story can help you out, make a difference, um, remind you of something that you can carry with you. But ultimately, y'all, just get out there, keep going, persevere, count it all joy, because you are meant for something great, and you're gonna get there one way or another. All right. Until next time, peace.